Alright, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. If I can ask everybody to have a seat, and if there are any kids, inshallah, if I can have them come sit in the front, and the elders, inshallah, can stay seated in the back, inshallah. Jazakumullah khair.
Kids, y'all can move forward, by the way, so you guys can be close to the stuff. But just don't touch too much, okay? Just right there. Cool. And sisters as well, inshallah. Other girls. Hey, Assalamu alaikum, kids. Can you back up a little bit more?
Hello, test.
Behind that line where you are right there, that's just perfect.
Hello, testing. Hello, testing.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. If I can ask everybody to please settle down, inshallah. And First and foremost, ahlan wa sahlan. Welcome everybody. Jazakumullah khairan for coming. I want you guys, I'm going to say salam just like usually. Say salam again. And I want you guys to salam. What's going on with the microphone? And I want you to reply to my salam, inshallah, just to make sure that everybody's paying attention. And please, especially the kids, while the presentation is going on, please don't talk. Respect our guests, inshallah. So, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Now, I know we have a lot of people in the masjid today, and the answer to the salam did not seem like we had a lot of people. So I'm going to say salam again. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. One last time, elders, youngers, everyone. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakumullah khairan for coming. Jazakumullah khairan, Brother Ismail Al-Fath. We are really happy to have you here today with us and your team. Your son over there, mashallah. I want to actually give the microphone over to Rahma. She has a microphone, so inshallah she'll take care of the rest from here on. Jazakumullah khair.
All right, assalamu alaikum everyone. My name is Nimra, and on behalf of Maryam Islamic Center, thank you for coming to our deep conversation with Ismail Al-Fath, who was a FIFA World Cup this past 2022 Qatar World Cup. Inshallah, he'll be going into in depth of how he got to where he is, and we'll have some Q&A for the kids, and then afterwards we'll have some time to take some photos with the referee, inshallah. But before we start, we would like to thank our sponsors. So first off, Diwan Islamic Finance.
Assalamu alaikum, guys. Thank you first, Maryam Islamic Center, for allowing us to make this possible. And we are proud to be partnering with Muslim Organization of Sports and Christian Sports to bring our referee, Ismail Ifta, to this event. At Islamic Financing at Dewan, we help you assist with Dewan Islamic Financing of homes. If you have any questions, me and my team is going to be here. So if you can raise the hands, we have Omar and we have one of our sisters here who can assist you answer those questions. We're going to be in the back, okay? Jazakallah khair.
All right, and our next up, our sponsor, Crescent Sports Media, Brother Hanif Khalil.
Assalamu alaikum. On behalf of Crescent Sports Media, our partners that are here tonight with Maryam Islamic Center, we are proud to be here as one of the sponsors. Just a little bit about Crescent Sports Media. It started in 1992 as a newsletter and an organization that told the stories of Muslim athletes. So all the major ones that you know of, Sharif Abdul Rahim, Hakeem Olajuwon, Mahmoud Abdul Rauf, Hidul Turkoglu, and all of those, Muhammad Ali, and all of the Muslims who were in the NBA in the early 90s. And so I was brought on to be the chief executive officer about 6 years ago. And since then, we've been doing podcasts, we've been doing events. Nimr and I, we collaborated together and did the first Muslim event, doing All-Star Weekend in 2020. We did a fireside chat with Craig Hodges. And so we're going to continue to do programs like that. And inshallah, next month, we intend to have a program focused on our dear brother, Mahmoud Abdul Rauf. We know he just published a book, and he has a documentary coming on Showtime in early February. So just follow Crescent Sports Media on Instagram and also Moss as well. And then you'll also be able to be up to date on the upcoming programs. So we're thankful to be a collaborative partner this evening. We look forward to hearing our dear brother and his experience. And we want to highlight and inspire other Muslims that are involved in sports so that these young people have something to aspire to be when they get older and be proud Muslims. So thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.
All right, and last but not least, Muslim Education for Sports Socials and Education is having their 14th annual Houston Rockets Night, inshallah, in March. So please follow them on Facebook, Instagram to hear more details about that. Without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get started with our introductions. We have, I don't know where the imams went. Okay. Okay. We have our beloved, is it coming out? Okay. Beloved Sheikh Hassan Shah and Ismail Farouki, who is going to be helping us. Ismail Al-Fat, who is our guest of honor, and with him, Kareem Abdi, who is a native to Austin, and will be helping us with the program tonight. All right. Jazakallah khair.
Assalamu alaikum. Oh, come on. I know this is Maryam Islamic Center. People get married here. People celebrate their weddings and get excited. Assalamu alaikum. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala amma ba'd. So, how many of you watched the World Cup? Raise your hand. How many of you watched this man in the World Cup during the Portugal-Ghana game? MashaAllah. How many of you watched the World Cup final? And kids, how many of you guys want to be superstars, inshallah? Raise your hands. Keep them up. Oh, I see some hands down, mashallah, but keep them up. So this conversation, inshallah, we're going to make it, talk about Brother Ismail. Alhamdulillah, he's from the Austin community. And not only is he part of the Austin community, we're going to talk about his journey of how he started, right? Sometimes it's like, wait, how do you become a FIFA referee overnight? Or how is he on TV just like that right away? So we're going to discuss his journey, where he started from. And from that journey, we're going to discuss about how he was selected into the FIFA World Cup realm. And then his experience in Qatar, especially with the media perception of the things that were going on beforehand. And also, most importantly, we'll talk about the historic journey of Morocco. How many of you were supporting Morocco? Raise your hand. Has to be the entire masjid, inshallah. Imam Maghrib, mashallah. So with that, we will get things started. And we'll make sure, kids, you will get pictures. You'll take pictures of the memorabilia. Adults, I know you guys are also fans too. I saw you guys having your phones out as well. This is a community night for all of you to make sure you have a fun time, a great experience, and you guys get to have the chance to ask questions to Brother Ismail in his journey and what it's like to be a referee, soccer player, or soccer referee. Inshallah, one day he wants to be a player at one point. This maybe in the Jannah, inshallah.
Too old.
Too old, man. So Bismillah. So Brother Ismail, please, you've been in Austin for over 20 years. How did it all start being a referee?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Salatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah. Good. First of all, let me tell you that the last game I did had about 85,000 people. This is more nerve-wracking than that. So, Jazakumullah khair for inviting us to spend a bit of time with you. Jazakumullah khair, Sheikh, for sharing with us your beautiful community. I have 3 boys of my own, 5, Sulaiman, and Ilyas is 9, and Yunus, he's over there being a teenager. He's 17. So, Kareem, I'm going to have to do a reintroduction of Kareem. Okay? Kareem is a gem. For Austin, he's a gem, mashallah. This kid, since he was like 16 years old, he's been inviting shuyukhs and imams from all over the world, organizing events, and he's still doing it. Jazakallah khair, Kareem. No, he's not for sale. His contract is locked.
Brother Omar Abdullah will get upset.
So, inshallah, the session will be interactive. We'll keep you guys involved, huh? I told you if you're here, I'm going to ask you about school. So be ready. So Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So in terms of starting off, it was by chance. This is candid talk. It was by chance. So I used to play in the Austin Amateur League. And I used to complain a lot to the referees. I'm always complaining. And then every Sunday afternoon, I would go to the referee liaison, this gentleman by name of Aubrey. He's from Trinidad. So chill, always relaxed, no matter what's happening. There's 10 fields. There's always fights. And Aubrey always sits relaxed like nothing is happening. And I come to him at the end of the day and go, Aubrey, come on. Can you find some better referees? These guys are terrible. Come on. So that was my Sunday for a couple of years. And then one day, he goes, you're complaining all the time. Why don't you referee? I'm like, man, you're kidding. And I walked away. So the next Sunday, guess what happened? I was complaining again. He's like, come referee. And this is where it gets to the aqdar of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So I just put it to the side. So the referee clinic was the next Saturday. Clinic is like a class, a half a day. You go and they give you a badge and you become a referee. Just how you start. So this man calls me Friday afternoon and goes, hey, remember we said you're going to be a referee? Come referee. Had he not called, I will not be here today. So this is one of those small moments that happen to us in our lives that are unplanned, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has his plan. So had that man didn't call me that Friday afternoon, I would not have gotten that Saturday, and my journey would not have started. So how do we go from there to there? I think we'll talk about that journey a little bit more, but maybe we give a little bit of a bio so people know some of the history.
Yeah, and the bio, as you guys see, mashallah, you started in business, you were in strategy, you were also in, I think, sales as well. And throughout that journey, I saw, you were refereeing nonstop. I would see you, actually, believe it or not, I would see him in indoor soccer games, in Austin. Like, oh, it's his brother Ismail. That's it. Like, it's brother Ismail. Just refereeing another day in life, brother Ismail. But subhanAllah, you were in corporate America, right? Typical 8-to-5 job, working, but also refereeing on the side. That journey takes about 10 to 15 plus years. And my question to you is, when was it where you were like, okay, I'm going to quit my job in corporate America, but really start moving up because I see a lot of potential in myself as becoming a professional referee?
Sure. So we're going to start interactive. Give me that ball, please. Be ready. If I send you the ball, you're answering a question. Okay. Well, they have to give it back. So I'll start with you. Morocco jersey. So how many registered referees do you think there are in the US? Give me a number. Any number. No wrong answer.
21.
Huh? 20? Okay, so there are 400,000 referees in the US that are registered. Guess how many went to the World Cup in the history of the US? How many? Go.
How many?
He said 20,000. 8. 8 referees from the US have been to a World Cup in the history of the country. So, when Brother Kareem asked me, when did you dream about this and you can do it? It's not something that's fathomable. It's discouraging to think about. And the reason I'm saying this is because most of the stuff that we do seems daunting at first. So for me, I started refereeing doing youth games. Kids like the ones in front of me. You make $20, $25 a game, a little extra cash. You're out there in the sun exercising. That's what you're doing it for a couple of years. And then I started to notice that there is competition to get the bigger games. Oh, I want to do the Houston 5A high school final. Oh, I want to do the NCAA D1 final. And I noticed referees are actually competing for that. They talk about it. Oh, he has that badge. He has that grade. So something in me was competitive at first and went, I'm going to go for that. I want to compete with these guys. And the story started with believing in oneself. And when you go for something, you have to go for it all the way. So let me ask you this. Who here thinks they're going to play at a World Cup? So I have half a hand, another half a hand, Yes? I'm gonna ask you again. Like, show me that you confidently think you're gonna play in a World Cup. Who here thinks they're gonna play at a World Cup? All right. Thank you. Lower your hand. So the message here that I'm trying to relate to you is at one point, you have to decide that I'm gonna do this. Yes? And we all do this for a job, getting married, whatever. But then at what level do you decide you're gonna do it? Are you gonna go to the World Cup, for example, and participate? Or are you gonna go and do the final? Are you gonna attend the University of Texas and say, I went to UT? Or are you gonna be top of your class? Are you gonna play at a World Cup and say, oh, I played at a World Cup? Or are you going and say, I'm gonna get the best player at a World Cup? I like that. So for me, at one point, I decided, and Kareem will get into this a little bit about the decision to quit corporate America. At one point, I had to decide, if I'm gonna do this, I have to do it with the mandate of a Muslim. What's the mandate of a Muslim? Sheikh. Ihsan. And what is ihsan? Excellence. If you have to do something, you have to be excellent at it. That's the mandate of a Muslim. We don't go to participate. We don't go to say we were there. We don't go to say, oh, I met so-and-so. We go to surprise. So if you're going for something, go for it all the way. Be the best at it. Because our mandate as Muslims is ihsan. And ihsan is to doing things in an excellent way. And I can tell you that when Brother Kareem asked me this question, I had to pause and think about it and go back to a moment in 2019. So I'll let you carry it from there.
I remember, I remember in 2019, or actually before that, around the World Cup, subhanAllah, there was a LinkedIn message that happened, or LinkedIn post by your manager. And in that LinkedIn post, it was like, oh, Ismail, I'm now seeing at the World Cup. He used to work at my company, and he just told me that I want to just quit my job, be part of this World Cup. How important was that decision for you? You have tawakkul, right? In Islam, we take leaps of faith, right? But what else was that for you to say, you know what, Bismillah, sir, it was great working for you, but this is the dream I want to do. This is my leap of faith. Because, you can't calculate what you want to do. If you're analytical with your faith, I tell people, it's not going to go anywhere. You have to have that trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? I know many friends, many people, I know you kids are not married, but for the adults, people are like, oh, what's the probability of this? Maybe is there a high chance of this? Maybe what if happens if I get married to this person? What's her type? What's her style? The reality is you have to have tawakkul. So for you, Brother Ismail, it's when did you, realize that istikhara where it's like, you know what, who did you consult with? How was that decision when you're like, you know what, I'm going to tell my manager, this is it?
So I had to consult with the boss. Nobody laughed.
Oh.
If you're married, who's the boss? So alhamdulillah, I was blessed with a zawja salihah, with a wife that's pious and supportive, but that doesn't mean that I do what I want. Because that decision meant a big pay cut for our family. To go for this dream, you have to invest by sacrificing something else. And I'm using the word invest by sacrificing because you don't just sacrifice and lose. It's an investment. It's going to pay off another day. So for me, one day in early 2019, I had to sit down with my wife and go, if I'm going to go for this, it means this much travel. It means this much training. It means this many days away from home. It means this much stress. Can we as a family sign up for that? And she said, Bismillah, go for it. And alhamdulillah, that's what I needed, that support. So for me, as I try to share some lessons, I've made the mistake before that, a few years before, where I didn't consult in matters. And they come back and you get the fight later. But for this one, it was such a commitment that I needed her support, her blessing, because we're a team. And if we're going to do something, we're going to do it right. So for me, that was a big lesson to, if we're going to do something, and this is for you, if you're married, but also for you guys that are young, if you want to make a big decision, consult. I was a teenager like you or a kid like you before. I knew everything, right? We knew everything at 15 or 17 or 12. But life taught us to pause and consult with those that have done it in the past. So consulting for me was a big, big, big step, alhamdulillah, to make this journey.
MashaAllah. As the Prophet ﷺ has once said, Yadullahi ma'al jama'ah. Surround yourself with people of faith. And especially, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless and protect our spouses. Say Ameen. It's really important. And I want to discuss, that you brought up the leap of faith, right? And you working very hard, in terms of, becoming, that next FIFA referee. So tell us about how you found out about the call about, hey, Ismail, congratulations, you're part of the World Cup team.
So the selection for the World Cup starts 3.5 years before the World Cup. So FIFA selects from the 3 million or so referees that are in all over the world. They'll select about 300 to 400 to say, you are our pool from which we will select World Cup referees. And at the end, there will be about 30. So for 3.5 years, you go through a selection process. So I was going through the steps, going to this tournament, to that tournament, going to this game, going to that game, being assessed by this instructor, by that boss, this boss within the soccer community. And I'm going through the journey. And then towards the end, you start to get a feeling like, okay, am I doing okay? Am I doing good? I am in that small group that they're going to select from? You never know. Because who you here plays sports. So until the coach calls you up, you're not guaranteed the start. You're not guaranteed the spot. That's part of sports. They keep that to keep you hungry, training. They're not going to tell you, hey, Salim, you're starting next Sunday. How's training for Salim going to be between now and Sunday? But if Salim doesn't know if he's starting or not, or Maryam or Aisha, they're going to keep working hard. So the stress they put us through is that you have to keep working hard for 3.5 years until the day FIFA publishes the list of FIFA referees. And that happened last May. You don't know. So for me, I usually, secrets of my life, I pray Fajr, I sleep. Until the alarm for the kids to take them to school. So I woke up for Fajr, there was one message that said, congratulations. I put it down, I went back to sleep. When I woke up again, there was about 300 messages on my phone of congratulations. That's how you find out you made the World Cup, because FIFA publishes it to the world in their website, Twitter, Instagram, everywhere. And then your life changes forever. So guess what was my first feeling? I was terrified. I was terrified. I was terrified. I started this journey in 2005. And we're in 2022. Look how much investment.
23 now.
23. For the World Cup, it was 22. And now I have a chance to live the dream, deliver it, or I have a risk of losing it all by failing in my first match in front of 4 billion people. The viewership of the World Cup was 4 billion people. So it's not like a game at Major League Soccer or in Houston or ESPN. No. This is the World Cup. This is the planet's biggest sporting event by any measure. So when that news sunk in, I was like, oh my God, am I ready? Am I really ready? Am I as good as the referees from England and Brazil? What if I give a wrong penalty to Messi? What if I give a wrong penalty to Ronaldo? What if I can't continue the game and I'm tired and it's too hot? What if I embarrass myself and my family and my country? I'm sharing with you these feelings because I sat across tables from players that have the exact same anxiety. So while the news and the media and social media shares with you the fruits of the success, the journey is up and down. So why did I tell you that? Because today is supposed to be fun and about World Cup, etc. I've told you that because it's a lesson I would like to share with you, that in your life, there are going to come moments where you're going to be anxious, worried, unsure. Be okay with that. Be okay with it. Acknowledge it. It's an okay feeling. It's a normal feeling. It's a normal feeling. Now, what's important right after that, though, is knowing what to do. We have to know what to do. So, I'll share with you guys something. This ball. Who plays soccer? Older ones. Yeah, come. Yes, you, come. Come. Oh, he's ready. Oh my God. So I want you to share with me, I'll go the mic back and forth, about things that are similar between the, Yunus, can you put the World Cup final coin toss picture? He has a Mac, so that's why I never use Macs. The one with the players, the coin toss with the captain.
There it is, back there.
So I want to ask you a few questions. I want you to think about something you do in your life, whatever it is, big exam, first time in a job, first day in high school, first day in middle school. Think about situations where people are nervous, uneasy. What's your name, brother? Muhammad. So I want you to tell me, and I'll ask you a question, you answer me. In the World Cup final, this ball, is it the same as the ball you play with? Yes. It's a soccer ball. This is not a trick question, by the way. That's a soccer ball.
Brother,
So it's a soccer ball. Yes? Yes, soccer ball. That's back to you. That's it. Leave it. Jazakallah khair. Jazakallah khair. Next thing, who said plays? So soccer ball, yes? Familiar or not? Familiar. Okay. You play. You watch the final? Come. Who won? Argentina. Who was your favorite player?
Don't know. Messi,
Why did you just say Messi?
actually. Mbappe.
Oh, there you go. So, when you watch the game, the field where they played, does it look like all the fields of soccer? No? The grass was different? Was it pink? What was the color of the grass?
It was green.
Green. Thank you. So the grass, green. Familiar or not? Familiar. The net, the goals, were they the same as the one you see in every game? They're the same. The goals are the same. The noise of the fans is the same. This jersey that we wear to referee, I've worn the same jersey all my career as well. It's the same. It's familiar. So if you're catching my trend here, when you are in that moment of angst, guys, I can't talk to you if you're behind me. Let me do some refereeing movement. Let's go. Where's the spray? 10 yards. Back up. Offside. You're offside. Please back up.
There's going to be a yellow card very soon, guys. Come on.
So the idea here is when we get to these big moments, we need to look for the familiar. Look for the things that are familiar. Have you taken exams before or not?
Yes.
You have. And this is another exam. Yes, it's the exam that gets you to the school of your dreams, but you're still going to sit on a chair. You're still going to be in front of a keyboard, have a pen. It's going to be familiar things. So if you keep thinking about what's after the test, what's after the the event, the interview, the first day, the match, you're going to get overwhelmed. But if you focus on the shape of the ball, on the greenness of the grass, on the noise of the crowd, on the jersey and the feel that you have, the whistle, the cards, these are all familiar things to me. So immediately after I process that I've made the World Cup, I start to go, what are the things that I've been doing all my life that I'm going to do in Qatar? And I focused my attention on those. The shoes, the socks, everything was familiar to me. And when I walked in that day in the first game, and Ronaldo is on this side, another star is on that side, they were not there. I was focused on the stuff that I know. And that's how I stayed in the moment. If you don't stay in the moment, you'll continue to be anxious. You will continue to be anxious. So this is one of the things that, for me, I didn't invent this method. This is the method of pro athletes. This is the method of high executives. This is the method of high performance in many fields. No one here likes baseball, right? Nobody likes baseball, correct? I'm just confirming. Correct? I don't like baseball. Nobody here likes baseball. I'm not going to offend anyone. But if you watch a pitcher, when they pitch the baseball, after they throw a pitch, what do? This, whatever, something. The next pitch, when he throws, what does he do again? The exact same motion. This, something. They do the exact same motion because with their sports psychologists, they practice reset techniques. They reset themselves from pitch to pitch because they cannot keep thinking about the pitch that just happened. He needs to reset his body, his mind. So those movements are reset motions. So these are things how you move from a state of mind of something negative to something more focused, something more positive.
No, I love that. You talked about how preparation is key. It's all a mental game at the end of the day. And sometimes the preparation and the mentalness of everything happening, I want to discuss with you like a curveball here, where things that happen around the world.
We didn't agree on curveballs.
Sorry, we don't practice baseball here. I bet. But I want to go over, especially the Western media and the perception before going to the World Cup, right? There's all these nerves. You're preparing, you're writing down, what your expectations are. You don't even know who you're going to play, like what games you're going to referee against. But when you have the Western media saying, oh, why is this in a Muslim country? Why is this happening here? Oh, it's not going to be as exciting like it was in other places. Oh, they're talking about the migrant workers. Can you discuss a little bit about, not only just about yourself, but the referees around you? But most importantly, getting to Qatar for the very first time. And how was that like? Were there still more nerves? What was that perception? I'm pretty sure most of us beforehand, and raise your hand, did you guys read about a lot of bad things people were saying about Qatar? Raise your hand. We did. A lot of us did. And subhanAllah, and we'll discuss after the World Cup, but we saw a different change, subhanAllah. So I'm curious to know and talk about, what was that moment like, seeing the media, but most importantly, landing there, especially you and the top referees from all over the world?
So during this journey, I've been to Qatar a few times leading up to the World Cup. We go there for matches, preparation seminars, etc. So, I didn't notice they're doing anything different. Of course, I noticed the stadiums are being built. You notice some highways are being built, some hotels are being built, but they were quite cordial when it came to responding to all that was going on. They were focused on preparation. That was noticeable. If you turned on the Qatar media in their televisions, in their radios, in their people, there were Qatari referees and organizers that we met, you don't hear them complaining. There was no complaining. Me personally, I was surprised. Like, you guys know that the world is acting like it's going to be a hole in the universe when the World Cup goes to your country, right? Like, no, we're busy, we're preparing. So it took me a moment of pause to figure out what's going on, but I couldn't. Not until the World Cup started that I knew what they were doing all along. The people of Qatar, the organizers, the committee, the volunteers, the planners, everybody made a decision of how they're going to tackle all of this. Because this started with FIFA in 2010 or so when they made the announcement. Since then, there's been attack. They decided on the approach. And their approach, and this is why, Sheikh, we talked about earlier, there's some blessing for this World Cup. There's some barakah. Their approach was idfa' billati hiya ahsan. They responded to everything and everyone with a much better, a much more positive response. And we couldn't see it until the World Cup started. When the World Cup started, fans also came in anxious because fans read the news. They watch social media. They're like, ooh, what is it going to be like? My referees, my friends from Germany, from Brazil, from Argentina, from Sweden, from all over the world, were also going, wow, I don't know how this is going to go really. Is it going to be a battle of social media? Is it going to be complaints and is it going to be everybody putting posters in stadiums going, this is not good? No, there was zero of that. Because when they landed in Qatar, what they found is smiling volunteers, excellent preparation of every detail. The roads were perfect. The stadiums were perfect. The Qatar World Cup had 64 games. There were zero security incidents. Zero. The pitches, the grass, the fields, the hotels, the communication, everything was excellent. The da'wah, the mosques, the booths where people can ask questions. I think, Yunus, there's some pictures of some booths with hadiths, etc. All of that was at the best shape you can imagine. That is ihsan. That is excellence. So the fans and us referees, me, I'm Muslim, I had high hopes, I didn't have doubts. But you can see people change their mind day by day. You can see people that are anxious and nervous get more and more happy and excited to be there. But if you talk about what we talked about earlier, Qatar did not just organize a World Cup. That was not their plan.
They were prepared.
They organized the best World Cup in the history of sports. So if you forget everything I told you today, this is the message. When you do something, do it not good, not great. Do it in an excellent way. Your preparation should be excellent. Your effort should be excellent. Everything that you control yourself should be excellent. That's what the country of Qatar delivered. That's how they changed the world. Opinion of an Arab country, of a Muslim country. I know so many fans that went to Qatar to watch 2 games and extended their stay. I know of so many groups that went to Qatar to watch a game or 2, went back to their country, asked forgiveness from their boss, and went back to watch more games.
Subhanallah.
So, Karim, I know it took a little long to answer, but I wanted to give context to what was it before and how did it change? And I was there. I saw the people lined up in front of a masjid to go in for a tour. A line, you have to stand in line. Non-Muslims stood in lines outside masajids to go in for a tour of the masjid. If you tell me this 10 days before the World Cup started, I'll tell you you're kidding. We'll be lucky if the games go with no protest. It's not what happened. So, subhanallah, when you saw that ayah, and you can read it, Kareem, for the English translation as well, because Imam Suhaib Webb was there in Qatar towards the end, right before the final, and he gave a speech, and he read this ayah, and the light bulb went in my head. This was not random. This is them living They were living the mandate of a Muslim nation and a person, which is ihsan, excellence in what you do. So, yeah, Bismillah, Sheikh.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ولا تستوي الحسنة ولا السيئة ادفع بالتي هي أحسن فإذا الذي بينك وبينه عداوة كأنه ولي حميم.
Sadaqallahu al-Azim. And not equal are the good deed and the bad. Repel evil by that deed which is better. And thereupon the one whom between you and his enmity will become as though he was a devoted friend.
Qatar have a lot of friends. We Muslims made a lot of friends in the West because of the effort of that one small nation. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless them and accept from them all the efforts that they've done.
Allahumma ameen. Everyone say ameen. I remember, subhanAllah, 2010 or 2009.
Take a break, show them the video of the secret life of referees.
Yeah, we'll do that. But then real quick, I just want to mention this part, right? And I think, Eunice, if you can get that video coming up. I remember 2009, I think I was in the Middle East, in Syria, before the war. It was nonstop on Space Tune. It was like this children's channel. But they're like, Qatar has been announced as being part of the World Cup. Qatar has been announced. I'm like, whoa, how is this going to happen? It's too hot there to begin with. But they were prepared. They came in advance. And I remember, speaking to a few brothers, Brother Ismail, from the IERA organization, which they do a lot of da'wah, giving da'wah to people. And I think within the first week, they were telling us over 500 people accepted Islam. The first response, someone said, oh, they were probably drinking. No, there wasn't alcohol in the area. There wasn't alcohol. They actually went to those areas, masajids. They learned about Islam. They were fulfilled upon the excellence and the ihsan about the deen, and they essentially became Muslims, subhanAllah. And so,
referees' lives are almost secretive. Nobody knows what we do. They think we just show up, referee a game, then disappear. So every time we go to a tournament, FIFA prepares a montage, 3 or 4 minutes, of kind of how does the referee preparation happen, where do they stay, what do they do, how is their stay over there. So this is there, and the background nasheed is the World Cup official song by Maher Zain, our brother Maher Zain, who was sanctioned to do that as well. So I don't know if the sound works or not. It's okay. If it doesn't work, it's fine. That's fine. Just play it. So while the video plays, I'll ask him to stop a couple of times to comment on what you guys are looking at. Go ahead. Okay. So these are some of the things that we wear during the match. So the referees in Qatar, we stayed all in one hotel. There was 36 referees, main referees, center referees with the whistle. The referee hotel is sequestered. No one can stay in it. It's only for referees and employees from FIFA. This is the president of FIFA, the big boss. This is our seminar room where we do all our preparation and our training with videos.
How many referees, Brother Ismail, are in there?
130 in total, 36 main referees. This is our training facility. It has 4 fields. We go there twice a day for training, practical, fitness, simulated games, mini matches, to practice everything. These are practice matches that we do between World Cup matches. So that if you have 4 or 5 days, you don't just stay training and running, you actually do practice matches. These are practice matches. There were referees from about 40 countries at the World Cup.
Are they monitoring, tracking your weight, by the way, like your health and your fitness?
Every morning.
That's the famous Cameroon moment where Brother Ismail gives him the red card. That's him right there. Brother Ismail, can you talk about the Cameroon red card?
There's nothing to say.
No, about the Cameroon national, the country, what they did. They want.
So pause it for a second. Can you pause it? Pause the video? Oh, you can't. Oh, 5-second delay. IT people. Who here works in IT? I do. I used to consult in IT. So, yeah, we can do that, and then I'll get to it. So let that finish.
So who watched the Portugal-Ghana game?
Well, let this one finish, yeah?
Okay, we'll discuss after this video. We will discuss Ronaldo's penalty.
So, can you pause, Eunice? So what you see there is, and it'll pause, but I'll share with you. So what you see there is, so there's 36 referees, exactly. Everyone's dream has been to get there. Everyone's dream is to do well. To do well at the World Cup, you have to do more than one game. Because if you just go do a one game, you're like, oh, was he not good enough? He did one game, they sent him home. So the secrets of the trade is that if you go to a World Cup, you have to do more than one game. That means you've done a game, and you've done well, and they give you a second game. Right? And if you do really well, you do the third one. That's the most referees do 3, and then the very, very, very few will do 4. So what you see there, those referees training, so we stay together for about 45 days together, training every day. But it's competition because I want to get the big game. He wants to get the big game. He wants to get the big game. But we're trained together every day. We eat together every day. You're there the whole time. So one of the lessons that we learn from sports, and those that play sports can relate to this, but it works in your job, with your teams, etc. Become okay with competition. Competition is not bad. Heated competition that's cordial and respectful is not bad. Me trying to beat every single one of those guys in a race, in a fitness test, is not bad. It just shows that we really want that trophy. We really want that promotion. We really want, but what ends up happening is people get uncomfortable with competition and they turn it into confrontation. It doesn't have to be that way. And I've seen so many referees in my path that were eliminated, sent home, because they could not draw the line, which is a gray line, between fiercely competitive, yet loyally respectful. They couldn't do it. Because it takes intentional planning to do that. If you just go with the motions, you're going to end up in confrontation because you're reacting. So what we do in our profession, and again, if you go into most highly skilled individuals training, there is psychology of competition. This happens in your soccer team. This happens in your job, in your school. So one thing that will help you tremendously is literature and learning about how to be highly competitive, yes, always respectful and cordial. You have to train yourself for it. If not, you're not going to succeed because the next person will do that. So that video, what you see there, there's a lot of competition. There's a lot of anxiety about, am I going to get that game and I'm not going to get that game. So what you see there is dramatized. Everybody's happy and smiling. And I do the same thing. When I go to my room, I'm like, did I show well today, the training, in front of the boss? Or did so-and-so from England have a better practice match? Normal. My training tells me, have I given the best effort? Did I control all my controllables? Things that I control, me. Being on time, eating well, sleeping well, preparing, reading, studying the video, studying scene. Did I do all that right? If I say yes, I sleep happy. If I cannot say yes, then I'm worried. Did I do well or not? So
let me ask you this question: how did you figure out which game you were going to referee against, or you play against which teams? How did that come about? I think you told me one time there's like a board. How do you find out? Tell us the story.
Yeah. So the World Cup is all about the appointments. Who's going to get the game? The appointments are done in that big room in front of about 130 people, plus another 30 or 40 staff and trainers and coaches, etc. The boss stands up, opens up his secret sheet that no one in the world knows. No one in the world knows the appointments. Because the news, the media, is dying for it. But guess who else is dying for the appointments of referees at the World Cup? Players, teams, so that they can study and prepare. But guess who else? Someone you probably wouldn't think of. Gambling cartels and mafias all over the world. You know why? Because the gambling and betting that happens at the World Cup eclipses the budget of countries. And for them to know who's refereeing before others and try to get to that referee, the family of that referee, is serious stuff. So that appointment is secretive. So the first humans that know about it is us in that room. But we, of course, don't care too much about that. I'm just giving you the context of how anxious that moment is. So the boss stands up, Lusail Stadium, Brazil, Cameroon, referee, so-and-so. And at that moment, the media department of FIFA in Switzerland hits send, and then poof, goes all over the world. Twitter, website, Instagram, puff, and then it's news everywhere. So that's our moment, how we find out. Just give you an idea. And every other referee in that room is disappointed because they wanted that game, especially the big ones, the ones that have Messi and Ronaldo and Neymar and Mbappe. So I'm just sharing with you some of the stuff that we feel that you probably would never know about.
And I guess now I want to go because we're running out of time slowly. I want to go your first game, Portugal versus Ghana. Who all watched that game? Who all thinks that Ronaldo should have gotten the penalty? Raise your hand. See some hands go down. So, Brother Ismail, I want to talk to you about this. How do we know if that was actually a penalty or not? Because I'll give you guys a story. Our Islamic Center of Greater Austin in Austin, Texas, we actually received death threats because of Ghana, because of Portugal getting the penalty kick. Our masjid in Austin, Texas, which is 2 hours away from here, we got hate mail. We got people commenting on our Facebook saying, how dare he? How dare you? I mean, what was going on that moment? This is your first World Cup game, and this was one of the biggest moments, in the beginning of the World Cup. How do we figure out if that was, actually a penalty or not?
Yeah. So within about, who knows what we're talking about, by the way? So there was a penalty for Ronaldo in the first game. You guys know that? Maybe if you're not a soccer fan, I'll give you a brief synopsis of the setup. The setup is this. Ronaldo is the biggest star in the world? Top 10 in the world? Thank you. So, if you make a call with someone with that type of following, what does he have, Yunus? 400 million followers? I don't know. When you make a call with someone with that type of following, and you are Ismail Al-Fath from Austin, Texas, lives in Wells Branch, Middle America, you better be right. You better be right. Because if you get it wrong, the whole world is going to... If there was another game at the World Cup that had a few 100 million viewers, Ronaldo's game has several billion. So that's the state of mind that I was in. So I called the penalty for Ronaldo. And it was a difficult... Did you say great job? Thank you. Come here. I'm kidding. It was a difficult decision. Difficult decision because in sports, just like in life, some things are very clear. Some things are a little bit gray. And you have to really look at the details to decide correct or not correct. This penalty for Ronaldo was in the gray category. For us referees, it's a normal thing. We do it every week. There are easy calls and there are gray and difficult calls that are really have to look at the details. You have to get the replay, get the 4K camera and figure out who did what. So I'll give you guys an example. Kareem, you're my hero. So I'm going to give you two demonstrations. Very simple. I'm going to toss this ball in Kareem and you just tell me handball. Did he touch it or not? No? Are you sure? Who thinks he touched the ball with his hand as it passed by? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The sisters, you didn't see anything? Do you think he touched it or not? No, so they had the better angle. Here we have people thinking that he touched it. But for you, it's 100% he didn't touch it, right? Because you were behind his hand. Well, this is our life as referees. The broadcast at the World Cup has 90 cameras. So any play, any movement is caught from 90 angles. And the producers in every country get to pick which angles to show. So if you are a fan of Ghana, or if you are in a country where the producer did not show you the right angle of the ball, did it touch my finger or not? I actually did touch it. If the angle on the camera doesn't show you that detail, you would know. So this Ronaldo penalty was all about who played the ball first, Ronaldo or the defender from Ghana. It was all about that. Because it was a play that for it to be correct as a penalty, the attacker, Ronaldo, had to poke the ball first. And then any contact from the defender has to be a foul. However, if Kareem is a defender and he touches the ball first before me, and then he makes contact with me, no foul. Because he has the right to the ball. That's the call that I had to deal with in that first game. So when Kareem said that the mosque received hate mail, etc., because my name is attached to it somehow, I don't have any social media for a reason. Don't look for me. If you find any social media with my name, it's fake for this reason. So can you imagine how passionate people from countries and continents about this play? So, however, I'm human.
How was that moment like? Especially like people are messaging you all over probably about it. I mean, it probably was like a dark, it's your first game.
Yeah. So, first of all, to answer your question, the call was correct. Okay? Thank you. So the call was correct because in our debrief with FIFA, the instructors and the bosses, they do the analysis. They slow it down, pick the right angle, and they go, okay, boom, boom, correct call, move on. I knew that within 15 seconds of the decision. Because we're connected to video referees, the referees are connected to a video referee, And when you call it, you wait. My video referee was a friend of mine, actually from San Antonio, my colleague. He was my video referee, selected also. Within 15 seconds, I get the message. And of course, those 15 seconds sounded, it felt to me like an hour as I am waiting for the confirmation, because the players, they confront you. I was 100% sure of my call. Because if you're going to call a penalty at the World Cup and blow the whistle, you better be sure. You cannot guess. I was 100% sure, but we're human. So we like confirmation. We don't like to be the villain. We don't like people confronting us. That's a human behavior. So I'm going like this. 10 Ghana players are over my face, complaining. I'm like, wait. And then I get the sweet words. Ismael, penalty confirmed. Check complete. Done. We were done. But the world wasn't done for 2 or 3 days. For 2 or 3 days, the media exploded. It's not a penalty. He's a racist. I'm from Morocco. How can I be racist? He's this, he's that. Of course, I didn't know all of this because I don't have social media. And of course, the game is late. You finish the game, you have dinner, you go to sleep. Next day, you have activities, debrief, etc. I don't know. But I start to receive messages from friends, families like, hey, they're saying this or this about you. Oh, this exploded. Oh, this one is supporting you. This one says, absolutely great call. This one says you're a racist. This one says you're terrible. This one says you're American. You don't know anything about football. This, that. So, why am I sharing this with you guys? Who here has social media? Come on. Come on. You guys don't have social media? Everybody has social media, yes?
Yeah.
Guys, listen to me. Listen to me, especially if you have a phone. Listen to me. Even if we're right, even if we do the right thing, when we get bullied, harassed, trashed, dragged through the mud, etc., you're not going to feel good. I did not feel good. Remember, I told you, I was told I was right 15 seconds from the call. I was told I was right by the bosses the next morning. I still didn't feel good for 2 or 3 days. I was down. I was like, man, why did I get that difficult call? Can the soccer guys just send me an easy call to make? It's my first game. So I was down. I doubted myself. I felt bad. I was like, are they going to give me another game? Is this going to be my legacy? Go do one game, go home. Everybody remembers controversial call. So for 2 or 3 days, I was under. So how did I get through it? And the question to you is, how do you get through it when you do face those types of situations? I'm a referee. I do this for a living. I go through this. Probably every few games you'll have a great call and people are going to attack you. So I knew what to do. My plan is clear. I was down. First of all, I said, this is normal. Nobody likes to be hated. Nobody likes to be. First of all, I'm okay with the feeling. I'm okay with the feeling. Second thing, family. My dua, my salah. Very familiar thing. Same concept. We pray 17 rak'ahs a day minimum. So the moment I go into my salah, familiar thing. I'm a little bit relaxed. My dua, my family, my father, my brothers, my friends. I went there. But I have this. I do this all the time when it happens because it's part of my profession. But if you don't have a plan that's rehearsed, you know who you're going to call, you know who you're going to talk to, you know what you're going to do, which dua you're going to read, which surah you're going to recite. If you don't have that plan already in place, you might go into more social media. You might go into bad friends, bad company. You might overreact and try to fight back. I had a plan. My message to you is If the social media world is going to attack you, which it will, whether it's your friends at school, colleagues, all your college roommates, whoever, it's going to happen. You got to have a plan. But then guess what happened? Kareem, can you please?
Yeah.
Yes. Guess what happened? So who saw the Cameroon-Brazil game and the red card that you guys saw? Did you guys like that? So within about 4 days, I got the next game, alhamdulillah, the next appointment. So that was a relief. And then that moment happened. So Yunus, can you play it again? Get you in the video with the Cameroon game? And guess what happened to me in social media? I don't have social media, but then again, I get the news. What happened to Ismail Elfat in social media? I was showered with love. I mean, I was showered with love, which never happens to a referee, by the way. It's not normal.
I remember after Jummah, Brother Ismail, it was like, you were on my first thing on my Bleacher Report on ESPN, just you dapping that player. And I'm like, I know this guy. Like, what's happening right now? And everywhere it was on social media. And subhanAllah, you know, we talk about social media, right? That's why it's called TikTok, right? TikTok, TikTok. That's why it's called Discord, right? You're trying to Discord with other people and have different horrible conversations. And social media can be very toxic at times. But subhanAllah, you know, as you mentioned, you felt like you were at the bottom. But with that istikhara, you know, with talking to your wife and consulting, it was like a circle of life where people came after you, people were trying to attack you, but it was all filled with love, mashallah.
Yeah, it was a strange feeling because people will send me a screenshot that says, you have 6 million likes on this InstaChat. What's it called? Instagram?
Instagram.
Snapchat. Snapgram.
Snapchat.
Those. TikTok. Whatever.
That's how
Oh,
you
this
know
one
you're
has
doing
12 million. This. I'm like, wow. It's just a red card. What are you guys talking about? I was surprised. I mean, I was literally showered with love. I did not plan for it. So when I came back, I shared this feeling with Sheikh Islam, who's the imam in our masjid. And I told him my emotion. I told him, look, Sheikh, I was like, down, this. I was struggling. Then I got the game. It was one of the best matches of the World Cup, had the highest rating, performance, and then had this moment, had all this stuff. And for those of you that don't play soccer, red cards are not given that way. Red cards are given with confrontation and people fighting. Players don't smile and leave. Never happens, right? Who plays the game here? Never happened. That's why I was. So, and I'm like, what is happening? Should I feel like completely happy with this? Should I like ride this wave of you're the most liked referee in the world? And Sheikh Islam, subhanAllah, this is the ilm. Jazakumullah khair for the Quran. He immediately told me, go read this ayah. I'm like, what are you talking about? What ayah? He's like, go read Surah Hud. So, Sheikh, if you can read it for us, ayah 9 to 11, inshallah. 9 to 11. And you tell me if this ayah doesn't describe to you what just happened to me and what happens to us in life.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ولئن أذقنا الإنسان منا رحمة ثم نزعناها منه إنه ليئوس كفور ولئن أذقناه نعماء بعد ضراء مسته ليقولن ذهب السيئات عني إنه لفرح فخور إلا الذين صبروا وعملوا الصالحات أولئك لهم مغفرة وأجر كبير.
Sadaqallahu al-Azim. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, and if we give man a taste of mercy from us, and then we withdraw it from him, indeed he is despairing and ungrateful. But if we give him a taste of favor after hardship has touched him, he will surely say, bad times have left me. Indeed, he is exalted and boastful. Except for those who are patient and do righteous deeds, those will have forgiveness and great reward.
That was the answer of the Quran of how I should handle the situation. Number one is when something bad happens, don't completely despair and go, the world is against me, Allah doesn't love me, I'm nothing. And then when something good happens, don't get all the way to boastful. And then the Quran gives us the answer. Illa ladina sabaru, except for those that have patience. I like the word perseverance. When something bad happens or great happens to you, just go back to earth and have the perseverance to work. And then you'll get the reward. So it's not the highs and lows of social media that you should be seeking. It's the mundane, simple grit of life, the sabr. Sabr doesn't have to be for difficulties. Also, when we're going through our normal things, is don't be too down when that happens to you. Don't go all the way up here if you just get 12 million likes. No. Have sabr and have amilu salihat, doing good deeds, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give you the ultimate reward, which is Jannah, inshallah. So for me, it was an eye-opener as an experience, inshallah.
MashaAllah. And I know we're over an hour. We only have a couple of minutes left before the Q&A and the memorabilia. I guess I want to go over the historic moment of Morocco. I want you to discuss about the lessons that are learned, because I know you're, mashallah, born from Morocco. What was that feeling like, that moment? But what can we as Muslims learn from their actions and what they have done? So I want you to just describe that, and then we can, inshallah, wrap it up and people can take pictures with it.
Yeah, last question. Thank you for asking that, because I'm Moroccan.
Hi, Amana, you have to.
Who here cheered for Morocco? Ah. So in our masjid, they actually watched, in our masjid, Sheikh, they watched the Morocco game in the masjid multi-purpose hall. You didn't hear too? So for me as Moroccan, it was amazing, because I went to the stadium and I watched the matches. But there were some things happening. Again, going back to the blessing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put in this World Cup. And Sheikh Siraj Wahhaj and Ustad Nu'man Ali Khan and Imam Suhaib Webb also shared the same thoughts, because they were invited to Doha, Qatar, before the final to give speeches. And they gave the same reflection. But the world didn't notice what was happening with Morocco winning. There were some things displayed that shocked the world. We were focused on the results and being so happy in Morocco, this in the semifinal, beating Ronaldo, beating Portugal, beating Spain. First Arab country going. But guess what else was happening? Yunus, can you go to the next slide? There were some things that, can you go to the next one as well? There were some things that Muslim players were doing that no players normally do. This moment that's pictured here of millionaire players celebrating on the field with their mothers. Superstars don't do that. It never happened. People were like, is this a Moroccan thing? No. Is this an Arab thing? No. This is a Muslim thing. We honor our mothers and our parents. My referee friends were asking me, what is this about? Do they just really miss them? They don't see them a lot? No. We honor our parents. That's what we do. And if you watch Morocco, you guys saw how they celebrate with their mothers, wearing hijab. By the way, 90% of the Moroccan team is born in Europe. They're like you. They're Muslims that got Islam and their culture primarily from their parents. So when they played for Morocco, for that logo, they were playing for mom and dad. So when they were winning for mom and dad. They didn't grow up in the streets of Morocco. They don't have that country love that you have when you grow up in a country. They lived it through their mothers and they displayed it to the world. And then German newspapers, English newspapers, Argentinian newspapers, Chinese newspapers were writing about the lost art of honoring your parents.
SubhanAllah.
No one planned this before the World Cup. They were worried whether there were going to be beer or not at the stadium. No one can plan this. This is barakah. This is blessing. There was another one, Yunus. Can you go to the one with the sujood? So, you guys saw this, the Morocco player, they made sujood when they prayed, right? When they won. And people, some are somewhat familiar with it because some superstars, like Mohamed Salah, he makes sujood when he scores. So that was somewhat familiar. Oh, they're celebrating, so they do the sujood. But then, when they lost in the semi-final to France, my referee friends from Argentina and then the media all over the world were asking, why are they doing sujood again? I thought that was celebration. They just lost. Another lesson in Islam. We make sujood whether we lose or win. And they were like, oh, we didn't think of that. So a Muslim, the hadith, Sheikh, you can share with us, but the matter of the Muslim, and Rasulullah, the matter of the Muslim is strange. Something great happens to him, he says, Alhamdulillah. Something bad happens to him, he says, Alhamdulillah. Foreign concepts to non-Muslims. They did not understand. Alhamdulillah ala kulli hal. Blessings that come from the plan originally, which was, we're going to do this World Cup with ihsan, with excellence. And look what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does. Amazing. It was amazing. If I did not referee, if I did not reach the final, if I don't have this medal, this World Cup is a win for me and my family and my kids. So alhamdulillah. Jazakumullah khair for having me. Thank you.
Takbir. 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 May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you all. Kids, can you guys just stay back for a second? May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless Brother Ismail. Thank you, for Maryam, Islamic Center for inviting him. Sheikh, thank you for having him here. Inshallah, you guys learn and understand from these reflections of how we can be better Muslims. But most importantly, how we can be future role models, inshallah, just like Brother Ismail. With that, I'm going to pass it to Sister Nimra, inshallah, for a couple of questions.
Yes, inshallah. Sit down, please.
So, by the way, all the memorabilia here is going to be experienced by the sisters first, especially the young ones, and then it will be you guys, okay? That's what we do, yeah? So please move this way. I have my red card ready. Please move this way. Move that way and stay seated. Move that way and stay seated. Thank you. Jazakumullah khair. Move that way and stay seated. It's going to be the sisters first, the young ones especially. Please move back and sit down. We're not done. We're doing Q&A. Sit down, please. Sit down, guys.
All right, we have time for a quick Q&A from the youth for Brother Ismail. Does anyone from the youth have a question to ask? Any sisters? Okay.
Assalamu alaikum, brother. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes.
Assalamu alaikum.
Guys, please. Shh. Jazakumullah khair. Thank you.
I was just curious, like when you do the practice, like the training matches in between, who are the players?
So the players are local Qatari players from their second division. So they contracted them to do the practice matches for us.
Any other questions?
Yes, with the red jersey. Go ahead. Speak up loud. Go. Outside voice. The final. So, receiving the final is it happens, there's one final every 4 years. Only one final every 4 years. And being selected to referee the final is the refereeing profession's highest honor. Only one referee will do it every 4 years. And me receiving that was just unbelievable. It wasn't about Messi. It wasn't about Mbappe. It was about Suleiman and Yunus and my wife and Muhammad, my dad, and Keith was my mentor. And I can list a bunch of names of the people that got me there. It was for them.
One more question, inshallah.
Hi. So my question is that soccer is the only game I think which spans across all kinds of languages across the world. How do you communicate between the players who don't speak English or like different players? For example, Messi doesn't speak English or Japanese player. How do you communicate with them?
Yeah. No, great question. So the question was, if you didn't hear it, how do you communicate with the players? Because players come different countries, all kinds of languages. How do you communicate with them if they don't speak English? Well, first of all, there is no translation to. What did I just tell him? Stop. So first thing is body language. So we do a lot of body language. The way you look at someone, your body orientation, your arms, your facial expressions, a lot of that. And then homework. So I speak Spanglish, I speak French, Arabic, and English. So that gets me by most games. And most players, especially at the highest level, they know English because they play in Europe. However, you brought up Messi. Messi doesn't speak good English, actually. He's Argentinian. They speak Spanish. And he plays in Spain. He speaks Spanish. Why does he need to learn English? So he doesn't know English. So I had to practice, and this is not just for him, for all the, when I did Italy as well, I had, in the last Olympics, I had to practice the 5 or 6 words that I needed in Italian to manage the game, which is thank you, be careful, no more, next play. That's all I needed to know, because each one of these I use to manage players to handle. So that's how we do it. What we know, and then body language, and then some homework. Yes, he's been waiting right there. Yes. The funniest thing? Oh boy. I can't remember. You surprised me. Yeah, I can't think of anything right now. I'll be making it up. But so I remember one. So there was a foul, and foul happened. And 2 or 3 players comes into the scene, and there's people complaining, etc. So I lose the player that committed to foul because I need to give him a yellow card. So I didn't expect it, but a player passing behind me just passed by and told me he was number 6. Just went by. Didn't expect it, but it would have been a problem. I'll let you guys do that. Manage the time and.
Okay, yeah, sorry, that's all time we have for questions. We want to leave some time for you guys to also take photos with the memorabilia and with our referee.
So for pictures, we're going to have the sisters. And so we're going to take pictures right here. So the memorabilia is in the picture as well. So what I'm going to have is the chairs and we need single file lines. So if sisters could line up along this, but we want to make sure that the pictures are. So, yes. Yeah, so you stay on that side and make sure no one goes. Yeah. Can you move these chairs? Huh? He's going to stand right here. Brothers, you guys need to go that way, way over there. There's no line. Yeah, he's volunteer. Keep scooting back. Keep scooting back. No one wants you guys in the pictures right now. Okay, so you just
here, they can come through.
Who's good with you?
I think it's. Yeah. Yeah. So are they taking pictures already? All right. As we take the pictures, I just want to make a quick announcement. There is a booth outside. There's a soccer academy. There's a bunch of brothers who've done really, really good work around the Houston area. There are coaches, professional coaches. They've taken refugee teams, like kids from refugee families, and they've gone up to really, really high levels, getting sponsored by Dynamo FC. So there is a camp outside. There is a booth with some camp information outside. If you want to get your kids registered, please stop by and scan the QR code and get registered. We're probably going to have games at the Mariam court, and we'll see how it goes from there.
Are you nervous, man?
Sisters, can we, if you guys want pictures, can we please have a line formation? So this is for the sisters, please. So you can photograph there. So yes, right here. Please wait. We got to be a little bit quicker because he has to leave by 10, inshallah. So if you guys could just come and go, come and go.